Yo guys, so today we're going to be talking about what you need to do in order to get rich. And this is something that's actionable, okay? This is actionable, something that you can go out and do today after watching this video so you can start making money like that. We're going to talk about it. Let's go.
What's up guys, this is 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗘𝗦 and you have reached the Roughnecks Ecom channel. If you want to learn how to make money online or offline, then you need to be right here. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. I'm also an honorably discharged Air Force veteran. Graduated from Penn State and started a career as a software engineer and leveraged that to build my businesses. If you guys have any questions on how to make money, you're gonna find all your answers right here, so stay tuned.
Yo, welcome back, Roughnecks. Good to see you guys here on the channel again. Just like in a little intro, we're gonna be talking about what you guys can do to go get rich, all right? You gotta do this if you wanna get rich, and this is one of the most important things that I did in order to get to the next level and start making money that I had never made before, all right? So you know how people say, change your people, places, and things? They don't really explain why, and they don't talk about how, all right? So we're out here in the studio, we're in Kensington, right? So if you tell that to someone, to one of the dudes on the corner at the trap house right back there, it's a couple blocks back, there's actually cops there today for a change, which is really weird. But a couple blocks back, if you go to one of those dudes and you're like, yo, you need to change your people, places, and things, they're not gonna know what to do. They're not gonna know who to talk to. There's no action behind it because they don't understand, okay? When we say you got to change your people, places, and things, what we're saying is if you're a product of this environment, you have to move yourself into a different environment. And for most people, they can't do that because there's not a lot of mobility depending on where you're from. But anyone can do some of these things. So when I first started off and I was trying to, network with people who had, more money than me, who had more influence than me, who had more knowledge than me, I was doing, ridiculous things, all right? So some people will laugh at this, but if you have a gym membership, whether you're, going to Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, like Snap or 24-Hour Fitness, you can go to other locations. So if you're going to Planet Fitness in the hood, you can take your ass up a 20, 30-minute drive or a bus or whatever, and you can start going to Planet Fitness or LA Fitness in another location. Now, granted, with COVID, you can't really hit the basketball courts, but if you like to hoop, guess what? There's some great competition over on like the north side of town. And you can get there and you can start networking with these people, making new friends, and then ultimately interacting with them outside of the gym. And that's what I did. So I went from, working out with people in a certain area to working out with people that were, more affluent in better neighborhoods. And it helped because not only did it open my eyes to a lot of things as far as business goes, but it also showed me a different way of life. So when I went back to where I was, I couldn't unsee what I had seen. So my mindset started to slowly change. I went from just wanting to do, random hood rat things with my friends because it was fun to wanting to be a little bit better. Also, if you guys didn't know, I'm a big nerd. So back in high school, people used to make fun of me all the time because I would read a lot. I'd read a lot, I'd be on the computer and I'd be programming, rooting my phones back in the day, back when, it was Pocket PC instead of Windows Mobile or Windows Phone. Let's just trash that, right? But I did a lot of reading, and guess what? There's no Barnes and Nobles in the hood. You can't go to Camden and go to a Barnes and Noble, but you can be in Cherry Hill, you can be in like Center City, you can go out to Manayunk or Conshohocken. This is out in our area, out in Pennsylvania. You can go to these places, and there's going to be a Barnes and Noble, and guess what? These are more affluent areas. There's going to be people there that you end up meeting that can drop tips on you. Like, let's say you're in a self-help section, you can end up talking to people throughout the day, and be like, hey, so, what do you do? And that's how you start networking, guys. Maybe you go to Starbucks in a better neighborhood. So instead of you going to the little, poppy store around the corner, you go out to a Starbucks, like out in King of Prussia or something where a lot more money is spent. You have to start moving things. And those are just some of the smaller places that you can go to start networking. If you're into cars like myself, this is one of the biggest things that helped me. All right. I started going to Cars and Coffee. All right. So Cars and Coffee is not going to be done in the hood or poor areas because guess what? Poor people generally don't have money and they drive shit cars and they do shit things at car meets. All right. If you guys follow me on social media, shameless plug below, you'll see some of my Instagram stories where people are just sitting there revving their cars doing dumb shit. All right. But Cars and Coffee, they're more affluent people, and you're going to see people with supercars, more higher end cars. Those people will talk to you if you're not a douche. Okay, if you're a cool person, you go to them, you're like, yo, what's up, baby? How you doing? I love your car. they'll talk to you a little bit and they'll tell you about the specs of it and everything. You can start asking what they do. You can get their information, follow them on Instagram. And if you're good with anything that they may need, you can reach out and say, hey, I can help you with this, this, and this. And guess what? There's a lot of people that hit me up and they're like, yo, man, I'm trying to, get into photography, or I need to build my portfolio, or yo, I'm a detailer, or oh, yo, I do this and I can get you sneakers or whatever. But usually Frankie's my plug for sneakers, shameless plug, to my man over at Statement in Cherry Hill. Check out my man, Frankie Type R. He follows me on social media and I follow him. So check him out on Instagram. But those are things that you can do. You don't always have to just stay in your environment and try to cut your friends off, because over time, like you'll find that you're going to have two sets of friends. You have like your growth friends and then you have your maintenance friends. Your maintenance friends are the ones that remind you of where you came from. You guys grew up together, you dap, you guys will generally do hood rat things together when the time, arises. But your growth friends are the people that push you to the next level. Okay. And my growth friends are people that I associate with on a regular basis because they're always telling me, yo, you got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this if you want to get ahead. And they're always inspiring me to do better. If you guys do not have that, it's going to be very difficult for you to ever get rich. When I started going to these cars and coffees and I started meeting people in different areas, now granted, I'm a software engineer, so I was able to parlay my skills to help them, and I tune cars. So I went from tuning Hondas, to tuning Evos and STIs and GTRs, and now, we do Porsche at the shop and McLaren and everything else. But I went from tuning, cheap cars where people who don't really have a lot of money, they want cheaper tunes, to people who don't really care about the price. If you tell them, yo, it's going to be $1,000 for me to tune your car, they'll pay it. Whereas like usually Honda people, they'll be like, oh my God, like my brother's cousin, uncle's mom's, whatever, he does it for $150. You go to a GTR owner and you're like, yo, my man, it's going to be this. They're generally going to pay. You go to a Porsche guy, they're generally going to pay. So not only was I able to make more money for the services I was already providing, I got to meet some really, really cool people. And in turn, that is how I met one of my mentors, Carmelo. Okay. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that Carmelo was really instrumental in me getting to the next level. If it hadn't been for Carmelo and my professor, Joe Oakes over at Penn State, I would have dropped out and I would have went back to the military. But because I had done all these things and put myself in the conversation with Carmelo and put myself in a position where I could be mentored by this man, I was able to push through and then ultimately get here. So I went from tuning, cars that I was only making like $150 to $200, per tune on, to making $1,000 a tune. In some cases more than that, depending on how heavily modded this car was. So you can look at how the money started scaling. And then of course my name got, known out there and I started tuning more and more cars. And now I don't really tune as much as I used to because I'm doing so many other things. But that was probably the most pivotal moment in my entrepreneurial journey, was going to Cars and Coffee. I mean, I'm a big car guy. I love cars. So whatever it is for you, who knows? Like maybe you can, go to Barnes and Noble, you can go to the gym, whatever it is. Maybe you do a 3-on-3 tournament. Like 3-on-3 tournaments in the hood, they're dope. And there's a lot of talent. And we're generally throwing down and dunking on people right and left. But there's other skill sets if you go up to more affluent parts of your city or your town or wherever. Because guess what? These cats, they're not necessarily going to be dunking on you all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might meet a cat like Luka Doncic, and he out there just step back and swishing on people. But guess what? Maybe his parents are, wealthy, and they, maybe you're in the construction or something like that. Maybe plumbing. Maybe they have an issue at their home. You're like, yo, I'm pretty good with plumbing, man. I'll come take a look at it. Well, guess what? Now you insert yourself into that conversation. They invite you over for dinner, and then they start referring you to their friends. That's what it means to change your people, places, and things. You have to start small. Okay, these are actionable things. Like when people tell you that crap, you don't even know where to begin. But these are some things that you can do to put yourself in a conversation with people in a room that got money. All right. If you want to make money, you got to insert yourself in money conversations. And you also have to like this video if you have not done so by now. So go ahead, like it. And make sure you subscribe and click the little notification bell if you haven't done that stuff too. So that's what you guys got to do to get rich. There's a lot of other things, but those little steps right there make the biggest difference in the beginning, because you don't really know where to begin. All right. You don't know where to start and you don't know how to get there, but introducing yourself to a new way of life with new people can definitely get you there and help you make some money, and make a whole lot of money over time. Like I said, I went from making $150 to $200 a tune to $1,000 a tune for roughly the same amount of work that I was doing. Even though I had to, ramp up and learn that new platform, over time, it just made sense for me to tune those. Like I stopped tuning Hondas altogether. So people that know me out here in the city, If I tuned a Honda for you, it's because you were my friend. Outside of that, I wasn't tuning Hondas, and people came to me all the time, yo, tune my Honda. I'm like, nah, dog, not doing it. Why am I gonna tune for $200 when I can get $1,000? It doesn't make any sense. And once you guys realize that and you start moving, upscale, you're gonna start making a whole lot more money. I can promise you that. All right. So you just got to stick with it, and you got to be willing to kind of sacrifice the life that you know for the life that you want. I mean, it's cool coming out and, being out in Philly and hanging out and doing some hood rat stuff with my friends, but it's even more cool when I'm taking trips and going to Miami and driving supercars with my boys. I mean, there's no comparison. Here in Philly doing hood rat things is cool, but, eating, at Poppy Steak down in Miami, going to Marion's, which, I'm gonna be taking my barbers to. Actually, you guys will see that, in another video. Like doing all that stuff, man, that is dope. That's on a level that most people can't comprehend, where you can go drop $5,000 on a night and you had the best time of your life and you got introduced to other people. And now you're doing business with those people. So you kind of have to think about what you want. You want to get rich, change your people, places, and things. All right. If you want to, keep living however you're living, keep doing the same thing. It's up to you entirely. But I would definitely recommend you change your people, places, and things so you can start making some money. And try some of them tips that I told you, my guy. Like if you laying on the couch right now and, you got a little round section right here, you got a little fat tire going, yo, hit the gym. But don't hit the gym where you're normally at. Hit the gym in a better part of town, because guess what? There's more affluent people there. They got money. And you just inserted yourself in a conversation with money. Think about it. So with that being said, man, you guys be safe out there. Be smart. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.